On this historic afternoon at Hanazono, a familiar name once again stood at the summit of high school rugby. Under the winter sky in Osaka, the final whistle confirmed what many would remember for generations. Toin Gakuen were champions again. Not just champions, but champions for the third consecutive year. Only a handful of schools in the long history of this tournament have ever reached such heights. And now, Toin Gakuen has written its name among them. The scoreboard told a clear story, 36-15. But the journey to that number was anything but simple. The match did not begin with dominance. In fact, it began with adversity. Kyoto Seisho struck first. A try in the early stages sent a ripple of tension through the stadium. For a brief moment, the champions were chasing the game. Yet champions respond. They do not panic. They do not retreat. They rise. Just minutes later, a young fullback answered the call. Soga Yamato, still only a second-year student, cut through the defense. The try leveled the score. The momentum shifted. The air changed. From that moment, the match began to tilt. The first half closed with both teams locked together. No runaway. No certainty. Only pressure. Then came the second half. And with it, the true identity of Toin Gakuen emerged. 5 minutes after the restart, the number 8 surged forward. Adachi Yoshiki drove with power and purpose. The try gave Toin Gakuen the lead. More importantly, it gave them belief. 2 minutes later, another blow landed. Flanker Nagao Shun crossed the line. The gap widened. Kyoto Seisho fought bravely, but the tide had turned. From that point on, Toin Gakuen imposed their will. Their forwards worked as one. The mauls advanced relentlessly. Each meter was earned through unity. Each collision carried intention. Defense tightened. Attack sharpened. The champions began to look inevitable. This was not a team relying on individual brilliance. This was structure. This was discipline. This was preparation made visible. As the minutes passed, the score continued to grow. Kyoto Seisho searched for answers. Toin Gakuen supplied none. When the final whistle sounded, the margin stood at 21 points. Another title secured. A 6th championship in school history. A 3rd straight crown. But this story did not begin today. It began months earlier, in defeat. Twice in the same season, Toin Gakuen tasted loss. Losses that shook the foundation. Losses that forced reflection. One came in May, against Osaka Toin, on the international youth stage. Another followed in June, against Kokugakuen Tochigi. That defeat was overwhelming. The scoreline was harsh. The message was unmistakable. They were not invincible. They were not untouchable. And that realization changed everything. Head coach Hideyuki Fujiwara remembers those moments clearly. He speaks of them as turning points. Moments when the team was forced to look inward. Moments when pride was set aside. From that point, the focus shifted. Back to fundamentals. Back to basics. Passing. Tackling. Communication. Effort. The message to the players was simple. Strength is earned. Nothing is guaranteed. Despite earlier success in the season, including a dominant victory in the national selection tournament, complacency was never allowed. Preparation became sacred. Every training session mattered. Every detail mattered. The players embraced the role of challengers, not champions. That mindset fueled growth. It created resilience. It built trust. The transformation exceeded even the coach's expectations. Standing after the final, Fujiwara spoke with honesty. He admitted surprise. He admitted humility. Each year brings a new team, he said. Each year brings new struggles. Injuries tested them. Tough matches tested them. Doubt tested them. Yet they endured. And they evolved. This tournament was a gauntlet. Not just any opponents, but the strongest from Osaka. 3 times they faced them. 3 times they prevailed. A feat never before accomplished in a single tournament. Each match demanded physical sacrifice. Each match drained energy. By the time the final arrived, fatigue was a real concern. The coach acknowledged it openly. The bodies were heavy. The battles had taken their toll. But hardship had already shaped this team. They had trained for moments like this. They had suffered together. They had grown together. And when it mattered most, they stood together. 15 players moving as one. Backed by a squad that believed. Backed by a system that held firm. Backed by lessons learned through loss. This victory was not just about skill. It was about humility. It was about response. It was about understanding that greatness is never permanent. It must be rebuilt every year. Every day. Every match. Toin Gakuen did not simply win another title. They delivered a message. That true champions are forged not in victory, but in how they rise after defeat. And on this day at Hanazono, that message echoed louder than ever.